Top 7 players in this NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and Golden State Warriors. All right, so like I said, the list is right now. It's not about accomplishments. It's not about what they've done in the past. It's top 7 players in this series right now. Their play right now. Number 7 was actually
we're going from the back to the front.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I like to do, man.
Eating booty.
Shout out to the old lady in the club, man. That story is also on YouTube. All right.
She's on to your soul.
Number 7 was the hardest one to go, and I went with Andrew Wiggins, right? Golden State Warriors. That's who I have as the 7th best player in this series. We talked about it a little bit earlier as far as Andrew Wiggins. It's not about him ever getting better or him, it's just about him being in a better role, better fit for him on this Warriors team.
Again, I don't know how you have the rest of the players ranked. My comment on Wiggins is this. His length and athleticism and defensive ability has been critical throughout the playoffs and will continue to be, because as far as matching up, he's a great physical match for Tatum, great physical match for Brown. And I think he'll play an extremely big role for the Warriors being successful defending those particular players.
For sure. Number 6, I went with Marcus Smart. All right, the defensive player of the year this year, All NBA defender, and Marcus Smart. He's one of those guys who has gotten better offensively each and every year, which was his weak point coming into the league. His jumper has gotten a lot better. He's a better facilitator now. He doesn't have to play like an off-the-ball, straight 3D type of guy. You can put him on the ball now. He's a better facilitator. He's a better three-point shooter. And, of course, he's just been locking guys up since his first day in the league.
My thing with Smart is I've always thought he was a better playmaker than he was given credit for. He always played with, a point guard or somebody, whether it was Kyrie, Rozier actually did a lot of lead ball handling in his time, and then Kemba Walker when he was there. I always thought he was a better playmaker than given credit for, but I'll readily admit he's not an elite playmaker by any means. I love Marcus Smart. I always think, what if the Magic had drafted him?
Yeah.
Would this team just be a different animal? I don't think we'd be the Celtics today, but that guy has something in him that's about winning, and I love watching him play.
Quick question, and very quick. Kyle Lowry or Marcus Smart?
Marcus Smart.
All right. Number 5, I went with Klay Thompson. All right. Now, years ago, Klay would have been much, much higher or lower on the list, however you look at it.
You can't say he'd be much higher or lower. I mean, that's literally saying,
you know what I mean?
In years past, I don't know where the hell Klay would be.
He would have been closer to 2 or 1 or whatever. But, and I thought about leaving Klay off the list. But he closed the last series out with 30 points. I know he's coming off the injury. He has these spots where he's the old Klay. If the series gets to a game 6, we're pretty sure what we're going to see. So for that, I have to put Klay at number 5.
Game 6 Klay is one of the best things in the NBA.
I think it's better than Hoodie Melo. It's
way better. It actually equates with winning. but like Klay, we talk Klay is an off the beaten path guy. And for him to be Game 6 Klay is perfect. It's so much better than him being Game 7 Klay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pick Game 6, and that's where you're at.
No, seriously.
There might not be a player in the league that I want to succeed more than Klay Thompson.
Oh, man.
I just like him. I mean, he's an offbeat guy. He just comes at this, success and championship from such an apparently pure place.
Yeah.
That you just want that to be rewarded. And then him having the injuries. And prior to those injuries, he was as durable as a $2 steak.
It's just one of those things, man.
It just went all against him. But to see him get back to this stage, that's awesome. I mean, I got borderline choked up when they sealed the West and we're going to go to the final. I'm like, this is awesome. This guy made it back to this stage.
I can't wait. Yeah. Can't wait to see it, man. Number 4, I went with Draymond. All right, went with Draymond Green at number 4. All NBA defender, second team this year. He has a little gripe. He wanted to be first team, and I actually thought he should have been over Jackson for Memphis. Although he's a good defender too, I just think Draymond has been one of the best we've had in the league since day one. Of course, he facilitates the offense for the Warriors. He's you can make an argument he's the most important Warrior. If that's the argument you want to make. I went with Draymond at number 4.
I would go with Draymond at number 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I think there's if he were to become unavailable, it's a void that can't be filled.
Yeah. They had a bad stretch during the regular season when he was out.
Yeah. There's just like all of the stuff that he does is kind of collectively becomes irreplaceable.
Now, right. Now, at number 3, now you said you have Draymond at number 2. Now, at number 3, once again, I think Draymond would be higher if it was like most important or more valuable. I went with the best basketball player. So, would Draymond be as good as he is now if he was with the Orlando Magic? I don't know. But this guy here at number 3, Jaylen Brown, I think you drop him off and you put him in Sacramento, Orlando, you put him in Toronto, you put him in wherever, you put him in the WNBA. I think he's still going to put up the same level of really damn good production. There was a stretch between last year and this year where you didn't even know who's the best player on the Boston Celtics. That's how good Jaylen Brown was and continues to be with his elite perimeter defense. All right, so you have that, and I have Jaylen Brown at number 3.
I would have Jaylen Brown at number 4, but he has been for a long time possibly my favorite non-All-Star player. I love his two-way game, and he's a guy for the most part enjoys and revels in these playoff moments. And again, one of my personal favorite guys. I like him a ton.
Yeah, and shout out to his. He actually tweeted a teacher that told me he would never amount to anything, and he's in the NBA Finals now. So,
which is insane. I mean, like,
how can you tell a kid that?
Tell a kid. There's plenty of kids I could tell. I mean, I could walk a block in each direction and find 20 of those guys. But we're talking about a 6'6", 6'7" athlete who's also extremely bright and intelligent by any standard.
No.
And you're telling that guy you're not going to amount to anything? Wow. Enjoy your $30K a year.
Number 2, I went with gonna make some teachers mad, man. Number 2, I went with Jason Tatum. All right, of course, 2 and 1 is I'll just say it, 2 Jason Tatum, number 1 Stephen Curry. Jason Tatum, we talked about him for 30 minutes earlier. Yes, he's on the rise. He's here. He has arrived, and we'll see how he performs. And Stephen Curry kind of just he rode a mini roller coaster this year. He has some highs. He has some medium lows for Curry. All right, but he's back to playing well, and his team is performing on an elite high level there.
I would have had Curry 1, the pedigree, the closer, the guy that just sets the cultural tone for the Warriors. I would have Draymond 2 because he's so instrumental to that, and it also reflects that I would see the Warriors as the favorite. Tatum 3 for obvious reasons, Brown 4, and then I'm with you the rest of the way with Clay, with Smart, with Wiggy. The one that I guess I would have the most reservation about leaving off would be Horford. And he would be 8 for me because I think he just does so many little things for the Celtics.
If we had to round it out, 8 Horford, I would go 9 Poole.
Yeah.
And 10, you can kind of take your bait with either Robert Williams or I don't know.
Well, you really have like at that point you're talking Robert Williams, you're talking Looney, and you're talking Grant Williams.
So Robert Williams.
Yeah. But I mean Looney's had some monstrous games in these playoffs.
Looney has had a really good career so far. He's played well, man. He's played well. The Warriors, man, their front office is this. You talk about elite front office. I really wish I had that in Philadelphia. I mean, like those guys, they hardly miss, man. And the decisions they make. The talk a couple of years ago was, okay, or last year, before last season was, okay, let's package Wiggins and this first pick and maybe Looney, and let's go out and find a superstar. And you know what I mean? That was the talk, not within the Warriors organization, but just everyone else. Yeah. And then, oh, man, you match Curry with this guy and that guy and replace Durant, and now you're back cooking. And we could see this thing because they had so many assets. Instead of star chasing, they just said, okay, we have this group of veterans. Let's let these young guys, let's just draft well. How about that? Let's just do our job and draft well and allow those guys to supplement the
coincidentally, that's how they got their 3 stars.
In the first place.
Yeah, they drafted great and got 3 stars, none of which was higher than the 7th pick. And then, the irony is the 2 highest draft picks on the team are role players.
Wiggins and
Otto Porter Jr.
Otto. Otto was number 3 that year, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the crazy thing about this. And Warriors front office has been phenomenal. Even the they didn't package the 2 first-rounders they had last year, and they just picked guys that had talent, and both of those guys have shown upside.
Kuminga
more, and so they're really in this crazy place that they have these 3 ironclad veterans. They remember they traded for the other guard that was with the Lakers in Brooklyn, who's in Minnesota now. Like D'Angelo Russell.
Oh yeah.
And then they moved him to get Wiggins, and Wiggins is just better for them. The only real gaping what happened with that is really the James Wiseman. They took him at the 2 spot.
But they still got him. I mean, he hasn't been healthy. They got him
at the 2 spot, but he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't really impacted this team, and here they are in the finals essentially without him. That's the only literal move that you could say, well, man, that really doesn't work.
Would you move off of Wiseman? It's
a tough call. I mean, to me, I don't have the access to know how comfortable I am. I don't know medically what's going on, how damaged goods is he, and I don't know his mentality. But I would say this, I mean, you look at the development of Poole, you look at Gary Payton's contribution, you look at Looney, you look at these guys that are a product of that culture, and they've grown phenomenally. So there's almost a presumption that if you have any work ethic at all, that you're going to grow in that Warriors environment.
Yeah.
And learn the game and improve your skill set. I mean, there's moments when Poole looks like Steph Curry. I mean, there's some of the same.
He's like a baby Curry, man. At certain times.
I mean, some of the moves are the same.
You could tell Curry influenced it. Yeah.
I mean, he's literally studied him, and he's.
He could go somewhere. He's got a decision to make, man. One of your classic decisions.
Yeah, my classic decision.
He can go chase a real check, and maybe it's not a bigger decision as we make it to seem, because it's not the same. It's not similar to Bradley Beal leaving the this guy can leave and get he can get a sizable contract, not a max, but or stay and for whatever. I know the Warriors will do the best they possibly can, and they'll go into luxury tax, but definitely not what he can get on the open market.